All right, today we're going to jump into Cardano and its upgrade, which has been, sometimes people thought it was going a little slower, but Superman, Charles Hoskinson, has changed the game again. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to TechPath. Alex, this is a good one. I think Cardano, all the Cardano lovers out there are going to love this one.
I think they are. Is it at the same time perhaps showing Cardano's limits in that they are needing to, unveil, the layer 2 solution and things like this. So we're perhaps also seeing, at the same time where Cardano's limits are. But let's not take the wind out of the sails quite yet.
I like it. And some of the people that are out there, and I know many of them that still say, hey, Cardano is not a solid project. And there are those and the community that is out there, hey, this is definitely a project that's moving in the right direction. To the news here, IOHK changes the game by unveiling the Cardano dAppStore, I should say, dAppStore. And really kind of they're taking a page out of Apple's playbook, which is really kind of create a secure ecosystem.
Sure.
So that you don't end up with all these unusual projects that are, whether they do rug pulls or you've got these unstable projects that can't handle the tech side of it. Right. So they're kind of acting as a governing force behind this. What are your thoughts on something like this as opposed to kind of just the Wild West?
The Wild West approach has burned, many, maybe millions of people, but, ultimately that led to, for example, BSC almost becoming synonymous with, Wild West. That's where you go to basically get rug pulled. But also, what you don't see mentioned in basically the release about this dAppStore is the auditing firms that are already in place and are already trying to bring us closer to what this is trying to just basically force onto the scene, which is security for one dApp or another. Now that they're all in one place and nicely organized, obviously that is a mental leap for some just to see them, but
yeah, and I think the key there is, to your point, is there are auditing firms out there that do the due diligence for a lot of token projects, but for the average investor or for the average blockchain enthusiast, in many cases, they don't chase those down. Right. So they're not going out to see if it is a protected, asset project, if it has been audited, those kind of scenarios. Back to the story, it says basically that instead of taking a haphazard and random approach to dApps, Cardano will curate dApps via the dAppStore, and they said this will basically aid in navigation. More importantly, it's going to act as quality assurance mechanism. So I feel like if we're going to see when we see mainstream adoption, these kinds of scenarios are going to need to be in place. That's why, if you look at Apple and just the ecosystem, that's one of the reasons I think a lot of Apple users never move off of it, is because it's secure. They know it's a trusted network. Right. People kind of have that whole flow there. So I think this is a really good program for Cardano.
And for usership of any given app, now dApp, as seen on the App Store, the adoption that you get just by being on that app is, or at least you're plugging into the potential for mass adoption where, as this is concerned, may we see that same phenomenon play out? I think, once again, this is that stamp of approval that many investors, people who are the uninitiated in crypto, are looking for something similar. So they've essentially mapped a system that works elsewhere in here. But of course, the crypto community is unique. So will it mesh?
Yeah, that's the key. I think the new age crypto community, the ones that we haven't made it yet to the party, are probably going to be the ones that really would understand and kind of apply to this. So yeah, back to the story. Basically, they're talking about launching this on their kickoff of this Saturday's September 25th event, which is the Cardano Summit. And basically, it's going to be at the initial stage, third-party dApps bring two major challenges, discovery and quality assurance. They're going to try to answer both of those things, which I love. When you look at the summit, here we go. This is a pretty cool agenda right here. If you guys have not seen this, just go to summit.cardano.org. And let me jump to the agenda because this is one that I thought was kind of interesting. And just in general, they're really, obviously, Charles is going to kick off with the keynote. They've got a lot happening in their partnership and ecosystems. This is where Cody, I think, comes into play. And I've mentioned this on the show before, is that Cody has a project that's getting ready to release in alliance with Cardano. You've also got Voltaire on the path to decentralized governance. You've got their whole topic around building community in Africa, raising the bar on fan engagement, building, you know, these kind of communities and creators. This is, I think it's going to be an interesting thing. I think Cardano is going to fly a little bit. We're going to get a little news and a little bit of a coin token price push after this.
I think we have heard so much from Charles that you know, the notion that he's going to be saying something that we haven't heard before.
Right.
Well, perhaps that's the purpose of the summit, is basically, you know, he's
I think he's
keeping
going to drop
something
something
secret. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you know, we've heard a lot from him, and I think people are, you know, are always there to listen. So a big update could absolutely move markets.
Yeah. You look at this other piece right here. This comes off their blog. Hydra, Cardano's solution for ultimate layer 2 scalability, is now baked into the Cardano development roadmap. Enter Hydra.
Hydra. Once again.
Isn't Hydra the bad guy in Avengers? I think he is.
Hydra
The
does not,
ecosystem.
yeah, it doesn't evoke flowery, nice, you know, buttery feelings at all. But, you know, the fact that Cardano is being upfront with its scaling issues,
Right.
But also getting out in front of it and saying, you know, we're already trying to solve this. We have this, you know, solution in place, is, you know, a problem that we wish they didn't have to address in the first place. So, you know, that was my point at the very beginning.
Yeah, and I think that point is to the issue that we've seen with, you know, projects like Solana, which had the open scenario kind of play out in real life. But Alonzo makes a significant milestone in the Cardano journey, deploying a base level scripting capability that will in turn enable further innovation on the network development. Also starts the process of transforming the transactions and tokens into dynamic confluence of creativity. Fans, who wrote this? This is good. This is good. I mean, the creative writing behind Cardano's team, they are doing an excellent job.
In many ways, it's a sort of a team of academics. I mean, they're coming from this position of, we can think our way to a superior product. Solana, not so. They said, we're going to do and
let's
see
test our
what
way.
happens.
Yeah, let's test our way.
Very, very different approaches.
Yeah, test our way. All right. In the blockchain, a network consensus algorithm creates a secure and trustless environment by ensuring agreement on the transaction history. This is where Cardano uses Ouroboros, an efficient proof of stake consensus algorithm, which is the very purpose. That was the whole thing. Of course, that one's been rolling. The transaction fees, people who run the network, this is going to be a big one. Need to set sustainable levels. Users want to pay fees they deem acceptable. All this kind of plays into it. But again, Hydra is the layer 2 scenario that's basically going to seek to address the concerns that are currently there in terms of maximizing throughput and minimizing the speed or latency, increasing speed. So I think the fact that they're moving, it's good. The fact that they've got this conference going on, Charles has got something up his sleeve. I don't know what it is yet, but he is going to do something surprising. If he doesn't, then that would surprise me.
That would be, and in fact, that could hurt the price of Cardano if people are right. Maybe we're pricing it a little.
Well, kind of like when Purple jumped, you know, because it didn't really get the fanfare. Everybody was kind of looking at, they thought something was going to roll out with it, and it just was one of those things that say, hey, this is going to be a slow burn, and in fact, it did happen.
Sure.
But as you guys know, we'll jump to the chart real quick here. I am still a very big proponent of Cardano. It is not one of the projects that I'm looking at right now, today, as holding long term. I use it as an opportunity, as an investment strategy, so I jump in and jump out. I do like the project in essence, but I still don't look at it as one of those projects that could be earth-shattering. Now, granted, Charles and his team, very smart guys, they could pull an earth-shattering move. Don't get me wrong. That's still possible. But based on what we know so far, it's still a little bit behind the time. But if you look at the chart where this is moving, we saw some opportunity, of course, here at about $1.98. We saw it jump down to $1.86 as the low. And as I said in my altcoin video, watch Cardano. It's likely going to have a move, and sure enough, we've seen it bump right up there to the 230 mark just here in the past couple hours. And of course, we're continuing to see some movement here and starting to show maybe a potential for a little bit of a breakout. Again, this is all preceding what's happening with the Cardano ecosystem. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, this is a team that is not going anywhere. There have been many projects on the scene that are saying, we're sexier, we're quicker, we're faster, we're better. But, Cardano has always been that one of a very competent team that is just trudging along. So we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you guys are listening to us over on the podcast. Make sure and give us some likes and subscribes over there. It's a great way. The audio side is amazing, but you're missing out over here, and that is on the YouTube channel. The best way to like and subscribe us here is to jump over to Paul Barron Network, get into the ecosystem, and guess what? You're going to get something really special soon, and that is something called the Diamond Circle, which we launch on October 7th. It's going to be a big deal because we're going to have some amazing giveaways in digital assets. That's NFTs, token drops, airdropping back to you, our community. No cost to join to you guys. It's a completely free membership. We will have some courses, of course, over there to help you guys guide your crypto journey and your investment journey. But overall, if you're looking for member-only content and a way for us to give back to our community, Diamond Circles will be the place to go. You'll check it out at paulbaronnetwork.com. If you guys have an idea for the show, drop it in the comments below. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.